como puede pensar un poquito, le pasa que a veces uno se desespera.
Great.
Es cierto.
Hi. Who else is here? How are we doing, Captain?
We're doing great.
Espartaco, voy a poner usted en mute. Lo siento. Pues vamos a empezar, ¿ok?
Está bien, perfecto, muchas gracias.
Look, my Spanish.
¿Cómo se defiende? That's awesome. Is it time to start?
Yeah.
Okay, we're always ready. Oh, Carter is with us. Cool. All right, so welcome everybody. Welcome back to our chair yoga session. This class is sponsored by the Woody Foundation. We're so lucky to have that sponsorship. We're so lucky to be out here in Biscayne Bay on board the Impossible Dream, which is a gorgeous catamaran built with universal design so that it's accessible to our friends on wheels, as it should be. This whole collaboration that we're doing with these yoga classes while seated in a chair is a uniquely Miami combination of events, and we use a lot of love and planning when we're getting ready for these classes, but a lot of it is spontaneous because we just never know what's going to happen. So when we come out on the bay, we never know what the wind is going to be like, what the weather is going to be like, and today it's really cooperating. There's a lot of wind. I hope that you can hear me okay. I'm going to be your guide, not your boss. So as I make the suggestions for movement, just do it in your own way. Everyone is different. These classes are really designed for our friends in wheelchairs, but not everybody that's in a wheelchair has the same experience. So mostly we'll be doing some things for the upper body. We'll be doing some breathing exercises which help with lung capacity and metabolism, and all these things help with mood, of course. And we do some movements for the lower body because there are a lot of different reasons that our friends are in chairs. So some of you have movement of the legs and some of us do not. So like anything, just do it in your own way. The whole objective of this kind of class is to be as inclusive as possible and to make adaptations and to make this kind of experience accessible. So as I make the suggestions, do it in your own way. And feel free to add anything or subtract anything. But one of the most important things that we do in these classes is we share some tranquil moments together. And when we come out on the water on the Impossible Dream, we have a chance to kind of get in touch with that tranquility of the ocean and the healing powers. And that's the whole idea behind using this boat as a showcase for adaptability and to really educate people on what is possible. So I hope that you're well. We all hope that you're well and that your families are well, and that you're ready to do some nice gentle exercises, stretches, breathing exercises, and more than anything, you'll notice that what happens in this chair yoga class really happens in your own imagination, really. So a lot of us are facing a lot of anxiety due to this COVID-19 pandemic for a lot of different reasons and a lot of different subjects. A lot of different themes are difficult to face. So one of the most important things that we work on in a yoga setting, and one of the things that's kind of overlooked, is the ability that yoga offers us to work on our powers of concentration. And we know that when we're under anxiety and under a lot of stress, that what happens is that we often get obsessed with the sources of our stress and we can't stop thinking about them. We kind of roll them over in our mind, and that kind of worsens the situation. It prevents us from sleeping well, from resting well, from feeling energized. So I'm just going to remind you to notice what's going on in your mind. Because throughout the class, your mind is going to wander. And one of the most valuable lessons that we can do, that we can face in a yoga class, is to kind of look within and notice what's happening in our inner world. And then if we have that practice, and we can get that practice in a yoga class, then we can extrapolate that and use that self-awareness and awareness of emotion and awareness of thinking. We can use that in other situations. So it's a really useful lesson, and we're going to make the best of it. That's cute. Unexpected. Okay. So we're going to start as we normally start, and that was with a breath awareness exercise. So we use our hands to get some feedback. Take your hands, take your fingers, spread them out as far as you can, and then take your hands onto your torso, wherever you want. Chest, abdomen, both hands next to each other, whatever. The important thing is that you notice how you're breathing. You notice the rhythm of your breath, the pace of it, without trying to change it, without trying to do anything different, just to notice the breath. Notice how the body expands and deflates. And notice where you feel it. Do you feel it more in the chest? Do you feel it more in the abdomen, in the ribs? Just observe. Now we're breathing all the time, obviously. And you've been breathing well enough to make it this far, so no one's going to tell you you don't know how to breathe. But it's highly likely that most of us are not breathing consciously. After all, it's free, it's automatic. And most of us don't notice that we're doing it. So now that you've had your hands on your body for a while, and you've tuned into the pattern of your breath, we'll make it a little more obvious. There's several techniques that we can use to do this. We're going to use the technique we often do, and that is breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. That makes it unusual enough that it feels like an assignment. And it is. That's the assignment. In through the nose and out through the mouth. So for a lot of the class, we'll be breathing like that. And try to breathe fully, not just into the hands and the front of the body, but breathe the sides of the body, the back of the body as well. Take 5 more breaths like that, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And count, establish a rhythm. Count how long your inhales are and how long your exhales are. This is your own investigation. And in order to really come to the conclusion, you must count at the same rhythm. So last one, deep breath in through the nose, slow exhale through the mouth. Okay, let's take our arms, let's rest them, rest the hands in the lap or wherever feels good. And the next thing we do, let's do some movements of the head and neck. Okay, so same kind of idea, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you inhale, let your head lift. So you're lifting your chin, you're lifting your gaze, you're looking up. And then as you exhale, you counter that by bringing the chin down toward the chest, looking down. Okay, keep on doing that. Inhale through the nose, the head lifts. Exhale through the mouth, the head drops. Now, of course, I'm breathing and moving to a certain rhythm, but you don't have to be in sync with me. You go to the sync of your own breath. Let's do 3 more rounds. Inhaling, lifting. Exhale through the mouth, chin comes down. Inhale, lift the head. Exhale through the mouth, head comes down. And then last one, inhale, lift through the head. And exhale, the head comes down. Let's continue with the idea of moving the head and neck, But this time, instead of lifting and lowering, we're going to go from side to side. So take a deep breath in, your head is in neutral. And as you exhale, let your head drop to one side, just slowly. And as you inhale, bring your head back to the center. And as you exhale, drop it to the other side. Okay, back and forth like that. And again, you move to your own breath's rhythm. Notice where your focus is. Chances are, if you use that technique of breathing, audible exhale, chances are you'll be able to remain focused on the task. So as we drop the head from side to side, you might notice you get a stretch if you let your ear come toward the shoulder. But you might get a different kind of stretch if you let your chin come toward your chest. So that's, again, for you to establish. You're doing it in your own way. Keep that style of breathing, so you're going in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you're doing it, see if you can sit up even taller. See if you can move your shoulders away from the ears, because that'll intensify the stretch. And then we're going to do something to intensify it even more. The next time you let your head fall to the right, stay there. So keep your head tilted to the right. And you decide, again, if you want your ear more toward the shoulder, if you want your chin more toward your collarbone. It's up to you. Draw both shoulders down. And if you particularly move your left shoulder down, you'll get more of a stretch on the left side. We're going to add something to it. We're going to take the right hand, or take any hand, and we're going to just place it on the top of your head, just gently guiding the head a little bit more to the right. Not pulling, not tugging. And let's take a few deep breaths there. So in through the nose, and out through the mouth. And you might change the position slightly. In through the nose, and out through the mouth. 3 more like that. And really tune in to how the body reacts. You might notice changes in sensation just based on the breath. Let's make our last exhale here, and then let's slowly return the head to center. So we're going to do that back and forth again. Remember which side you went to. Deep breath in. Exhale, let your head fall to one side. We'll go back and forth a few times before we hold it. Inhale to the center, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, head to the other side. So just move to the breath's rhythm and keep that style of breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And try to stay focused on that task. And then the next time you let your head fall to the left, we're going to keep it there. Keep drawing that right shoulder down. And again, make any change in position that suits you. And we're going to intensify the sensation by taking a hand and putting it on the top of the head. So again, just allowing the weight of the hand, the added weight of the hand, to intensify the stretch. Back to focusing on the breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Back and forth. Three more breaths like that. Two more breaths. Last deep breath in through the nose. Last slow exhale through the mouth. And then let's bring the head back into neutral. Let's let the arms relax. Okay, so we're going to keep going. And usually what we do at the beginning of class, we repeat and incorporate into other moves or combine them with other moves later. Right? So we're going to keep on going with this lifting and lowering of the head. to move the neck and head, but we're going to also add the shoulders, right? So it's going to be like this. So practice this first. Draw both shoulders back so the collarbones feel like they're broadening, and then bring both shoulders forward like you're caving the chest in a little bit. And so do that a few times. Inhaling, both shoulders go back, the chest is lifted. Exhaling, both shoulders go forward, the chest is kind of caved in. Right? So do that and combine it with the head and the neck. So on your next inhale, we're going to lift the head, we're going to move the chest forward, the shoulders back, you're looking up. And then as you exhale, you let your head drop down, you let your chest cave in, you move your upper body back. Okay, go back and forth like that. Inhale, heart lifts, you're looking up. Exhale, you look down, round the upper back. And inhale, heart forward, so now you're starting to arch the back. And exhale through the mouth, you're rounding the back. So go back and forth like that. So you're rooted down from the feet, through the legs, to the hips. And we're shifting the upper body as much as we can, creating an arch in the spine, looking up, and then rounding the spine, looking down. And if you want to take your hands and hold onto your knees or the sides of your chair, if that helps you to get a deeper stretch, you do that. So this is the basis of the idea of complementary actions. We see it in the inhale and the exhale, the rise and fall of the breath. We see it in the arching and rounding of the spine. So we're always trying to complement one action with its opposite in the name of balance. So let's do 5 more breaths like that, moving the spine as much as you can. Inhaling, the whole spine moves forward. We lift the head. Exhale through the mouth, the spine moves back, we drop the head. And inhale again, arching, looking up. Exhale, rounding, look down. Inhale, arching, looking up. Exhale, rounding, looking down. Inhale, arching, looking up. Exhale, rounding, looking down. And last one, inhale, arching, looking up, really moving the spine forward. And then exhale, round the back, look down. Now let's hold this rounded position for a moment. Let your chin come toward your chest. And then imagine that we're just going to let the head roll to the right, back down to the center, and then roll to the left. So it's back and forth. So imagine that your chin kind of stays close to the chest, and we're just kind of going from side to side. And again, you can make little changes to this so it suits you. And you go with your breath, your own breath. You establish a pattern and you stick with it. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's do just a few more of those. And just notice where your tight spots are. And then we're going to slowly come back into neutral with the head. Sit up nice and tall. Okay, take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then let's experiment with some movements of some other joints. Right, so let's do this. Let your hands come out in front of you so your palms are facing out. And then turn your hands the other way so your palms are facing down. So just keep on doing that. Let the palms face up. Let the palms face down. And look at your hands and notice what's happening. We're turning at the wrists. You know, there's some rotation in the bones of the forearm. Keep on doing that, but slowly open your arms out to the sides. And start to make your arms really straight. And see if you can make it a wider range of motion. So you're turning your palms to face up. Notice what happens in the lower arms, turning your palms to face down, maybe even face back, maybe rotating at the shoulders so the hands face up. So you get the idea, we're just experimenting. So it's not just the hand that's moving, it's not just the wrist that's moving, it's not just the bones of the lower arms, it's not just the elbows, not just the upper arms, but use the shoulders. So you'll notice that we're doing that same move. As we turn the palms up, the chest is lifting. As we turn the palms down and back and keep rotating, this chest caves in. So we're doing that arching and that rounding. So let's make it go with the breath. So inhale, palms up, lift your head, look up. Exhale, round your back, chin toward the chest. Rotate from the shoulders to the hands. Keep on going. Inhale, looking up. And then exhale through the mouth, round the back, looking down. Now, as you do this, keep stretching your arms long, as if you're trying to touch something that's just a little bit out of your reach. So we're experimenting. And now we're going to do alternate actions. So let's do this. Right arm rotates out. Left arm rotates the other way. And then twist again. So keep on going. Engage the muscles in your arms. So one shoulder's rolling in as the other shoulder rolls out. So we're complementing that internal rotation with an external rotation. And notice what's happening in the upper back. So feel it in your shoulder blades. All right? So go back and forth. Keep your arms as straight as you can. So you notice one shoulder might want to come forward. That's good. One shoulder might want to move back. Again, you're doing this in your own way. Let's go once more each way. And then slowly release. Let your arms come down to your sides. Okay. And just take a few deep breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And more importantly, that when we're doing physically, notice what you're thinking. Notice what's on your mind. Let's go with some movements of the shoulders and arms again. So as you inhale, let your shoulders really lift up high, let your arms kind of float up. And then as you exhale, let your arms shake out. Okay, do that a couple times. And imagine you're shaking something off. So you can do a little visualization. Anything you want to let go of, get rid of, brush away, brush off. The whole idea behind the sigh, the audible sigh, is that it has a little sense of relief or release built into it. Do two more. Last one. Then keep on shaking your hands out, shaking your arms out as much as you can, as much movement as you can. See that Sabrina Cohen is with us. How nice. Yes, Sabrina. And Alex is with us. And who else? Is Macaulay here? Kat Magnolia is here? Nice. What about Douglas Longini? Oh, yeah? Okay, so let's take the hands and rub them into each other. Warm yourself up. And Elena Gomez is here. Elena Gomez. Yeah, that's a different person. Nice. Nice to see you, Elena. Squeeze one hand with the other. And massage. Would you please use those hands to massage the palms, the forearms. Get some sensation into the arms themselves. Okay, and let's keep on going with this idea of shoulder rotation. And it's going to involve a little bit of a twist, okay? So, There's so many different ways to go about it, right? So essentially we're going to go one shoulder, then the other shoulder is going to look like we're making a little bit of a twist. You're going to do that in one direction, alternating shoulders, and then you're going to do it in the other direction, right? So I'll cue you on that, right? So make the movements as big as you can. So take one shoulder up, and then back, and down, and then the other shoulder forward, up, back, and down. Okay, keep on going. And don't skimp on this. You can use your arms to kind of hold your, or resist, to create a little resistance so that you can twist a little bit more. Get as much movement as you can out of this. And it involves things that we've already done together today. So it involves moving the shoulder forward as we did when we rounded the upper back. It involves a rotation like we did earlier. An elevation of one shoulder at a time, and as much movement out of it as you can. And then after having done that, in this direction, now we're going to do the opposite direction. So again, alternating one shoulder and the other shoulder. And it might come out different here. You might get more sensation in your rib cage. And a lot of our friends request stretching of the rib cage. Got some kite surfers in the distance. Do a few more. And now we're going to come into neutral. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Take a few deep breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Back and forth like that, in through the nose and out through the mouth. So notice where your focus is. Notice what you're thinking. Keep coming back to the present moment, just keeping it simple to what's happening in your body physically right now, the state of your breath, this beautiful view. And the view is simple. Water. Full of motion, yet steady and reliable. Let's keep on going with this idea of twisting, okay? So, first we're going to do it without using the hands. It's going to involve core work, right? So, before we start doing that kind of twist, and yes, we're going to do it to the breath's rhythm, first, root through the legs. Whether you have sensation in the legs or not, the feet are firmly grounded. Imagine yourself with your feet plugged into the ground, into a source of energy, okay? And you're going to visualize that energy coming up through the soles of the feet, into the shins, strong, past the knees, into the thighs and hips. Okay, the lower body is rooted. Take your hands onto your upper body somewhere, abdomen, chest, whatever you got. And take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale, twist your upper body to one side. And as you inhale, you come back to the center. And as you exhale, you twist to the other side. Oh, yes. And Woody wants to know if he can take the Pharaoh approach, of course. Back and forth, if that works for you. So we have to use our core to do this. We're not using the arms to help us. We're not creating resistance by holding on with the hands or arms. Go back and forth. Nice to hear that Peter Benson's neck is feeling better already. And we have our friends from Daytona. What are our friends? Jody and Mike? Cool. Thank you, Jody and Mike, for joining us. Go back and forth a few times more. What about our friends from Belfast? The other Natalie? She's with us today? Cool. She's working. Back and forth. If you want to change your arm position, sometimes it's nice to hold your arms out like this. If you can clear the sides of your chair, so you can have the elbows bent out to the side. So again, we're engaging the arms, but we're not relying on the hands or arms to turn the body. Okay, now let's come back to neutral, back to center, and we're going to bring the arms out in front of us. Make the arms engaged. And then see if you can just lean forward and then lean back. Go back and forth, lean forward and come back. So as you lean forward, try to keep your arms parallel to the floor, to the horizon. And imagine that you're trying to stretch the arms longer so that you're engaging from the fingertips all the way to the shoulders, even to the chest, even to the upper back. Do a few more like that. Match it to the breath's rhythm. So figure out what style of breathing, what pattern works for you. What works best. Do you want to lean forward on the inhale? Or do you want to lean forward on the exhale? So part of the assignment is to figure out what works for you. Now we're going to take the arms out to the sides, and same kind of thing, but it's going to be from side to side. So go from side to the other side. And you might notice that you get more of a reach, or you get a different sensation if you turn your palm up or if you turn your palm down. So you can bring into play those moves that we did with the, rotation of the shoulder, rotation of the arm, the whole arm really. But you decide. Maybe you want your palms just to face forward. That's fine. So again, you're rooting down through the feet, through the legs. Feel that solidity. Feel that grounding. And moving from side to side and rocking all the time and getting in touch with our core is something that we're always doing when we're on the boat. Okay, now bring the arms back down. Okay, now we're going to make circles. So you can rest your hands at first on your thighs, if that helps you, and start to make circles in one direction with your body, with your torso. So you can use your hands. You can brace yourself with your hands by keeping them on your legs or keeping them on the sides of your chair or the wheels of your chair. Or if you want to make it more challenging, you can have your arms out in front of you. Let it make sense for you. Let it match your breath. And then whatever direction you're going, go the opposite way. Keep that style of breath as much as you can, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Back and forth. Let's do a few more circles like that. And then we're going to pause. We're going to come back to neutral. Okay. And sit up nice and tall. Okay, so from here, we're going to incorporate some things that we've already done. First, we'll do a little bit more of a twist, right? So I'm going to ask you to take your hands onto the right side, whether that means holding onto your right leg or holding onto the side of your chair or anything. You go for it. Hold your hands there. Take a nice deep breath in. Really lengthen your spine. And then as you exhale, you twist a little bit to the right. So stay like that with that twist. So you're using your arms to create that resistance and to hold your upper body in place. But then again, make sure that you're not tightening excessively. And go back to that first observation we made of the breath, where we just acknowledge that the inhale is an expansion and the exhale is a contraction. Okay, so acknowledge that, but focus on the back of the body now. Expanding on the breath in, into the back of the lungs. And notice how the body closes and contracts on the exhale. So visualize the back of the right lung opening, even the back of the right waistline opening. So we're going to keep the upper body like this, and we're going to move the head. So inhaling, turn your head as far as it'll go to the right. Exhale through the mouth, turn your head as far as it'll go to the left. And inhale to the right. And exhale to the left. And inhale to the right. And exhale to the left. And last one, inhale to the right. And exhale to the left. Slowly bring your head back into neutral. Slowly bring your torso back into neutral. Pause in that neutral. Take some nice deep breaths. If you feel like making any extra moves before we go to the other side, of course, go for it. Ready for the other side? Excellent. Take the hands onto the left. Whatever you can reach, whatever you can hold on to without gripping excessively. Okay. And this time, of course, we're going to focus on the back of the left lung. Really, we want to focus on the back of the body, but focus on the back of the left lung. Totally normal, totally natural to feel like we're constricting the breath a little bit, because just consider what we're doing to the rib cage, to the lungs in there. Take some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And in through the nose and out through the mouth. See if you can make those tiny little shifts and changes that we've been exploring with, little rotations here and there. Changes that might only be noticeable to you. Changes that an onlooker might not even be able to notice. A few more breaths directly into the back of the right lung. And then we're going to move the head. So on the inhale, turn your head as far as it'll go to the left. And as you exhale, turn it as far as it'll go to the right. Keep on going with that. Inhale, head to the left. Exhale, head to the right. Nice. Inhale, head to the left. Exhale, head to the right. And the last one. Inhale, head to the left. Exhale, head to the right. So bring your head back into neutral and then slowly make your way back to a neutral position. So you're facing forward. Okay. Take a few breaths there in neutral. Notice not just how your body physically feels, notice not just the quality of the breath, notice the content of the mind. Okay, when we give ourselves the assignment to breathe audibly, we're really trying to hone our powers of concentration. And while it's really fashionable to exercise and to build muscle tone and to stretch, it might not be as fashionable to work on your concentration, but it's certainly useful and practical. And I think more and more people are understanding that. So we're going to keep on going with this idea. I see you, Sabrina. We're going to keep on going with this idea of moving with the breath. But it's going to involve some movements of the Actually, let me take that back. We're going to go with the breath, but first, John Beauregard is watching. Oh, excellent. Now I feel better. Okay, so we're gonna get some circulation in the legs too first. So let's take the hands and press them down on the thighs and go from the hips to the knees. Press down as hard as you comfortably can. So this way, we're kind of just stimulating the circulation in the surface. And there's a couple different ways we can do it to make it more intense. You can lean forward and kind of like roll your forearm over the leg and be systematic about it. So you're going from the knees all the way through the thighs to the hips. This is the one Woody taught us. He gets a better result like that when he kind of leans forward with his torso, because then of course you're using the arms, but also you're using the added weight of the body to do that. And then if you want to do something a little more percussive, you can take your hands and kind of bounce them on the thighs in a reasonable way. Not so hard that you're going to bruise yourself, which is a realistic concern for those of us on blood thinners. So we want to be nice about it. And you know, when we're on a boat and there are other people on boats in the water, we get a really natural reminder that we're all in this together. So boats go by, they create wakes and waves, and then we feel it and we can ride the waves together. Right? So that's another thing that always happens when we're out here on the water. So after warming up the legs like that, okay, so some of our friends asked for some leg strengthening moves, right? So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do an oppositional action of the arms, okay? So for example, this chair that I have, it's a beautiful chair, it's an awesome chair. but it prevents me from moving my arms too much. So I'm going to kind of go like this, which looks like a special kind of dance move. I wish Macaulay were here to notice this, right? So what we're doing is we're going to try to simulate that oppositional action that we use in walking, so that we can, we'll get a little bit of a twist like this with the upper body. And those of you who can use your legs, you lift a leg and you lift the other leg, right? So you can lift the foot like this. If you can see my legs, I'm just straightening the leg so that the heel, so that the foot lifts off the ground, but the thigh stays down. But if you can do this variation where your thigh lifts, it's like more of a march, then do it like that, right? So you use your legs if you can, if you like. Otherwise, we're going to make it an upper body move with the breath, so it becomes an a concentrated move, right? So go for it. So with your own breath, inhale, one arm in front, and then exhale. And inhale, so whatever arm is in the front, if you're going to do the legs, it's the opposite one that goes, that either straightens or that lifts. So everyone is going to do this in their own way. And everyone's going to do this at their own pace. So, but however you're moving, do it with your own breath. Edwin is watching, nice. And so your arms are engaged, however you're using them, whether you have the space to swing the arms out in front and behind you like this, or whether you're doing this kind of bent elbow version, whatever, do it like you mean it. And if you're doing your legs, well, lift them or straighten as high as you comfortably can. Let's go back and forth. So we're using some core strength. We're using the power of the abdomen as well. And if you're doing your legs, you're feeling it in the hip flexors. If you're lifting the thigh. But really, we're just trying to do a coordinated move. Let's do 10 more. There you go. Do it slow. Oh, and incidentally, I meant 10 more pairs. Nice and slow. You can start again. 5, 4. You got it. 3, 2. Last pair. 1. And then we come into neutral. We sit up nice and tall. We let the arms relax. We take a few deep breaths. So try to find some stillness. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. So just notice how simple it feels to take some nice deep breaths. And try to remember that the next time you're having a lot of anxiety, try to remember to just focus on the breath. And it becomes really obvious when we have a lot of stress, how quickly the mind will go back to the rut it was in, how quickly we'll return to our source of anxiety in our mind. And sometimes it's that we keep returning to beautiful moments too, which is useful and helpful and inspiring. But we want to stay focused. We want to be able to work on our powers of concentration, just like we're trying to keep the body strong and supple. We want the same thing for the mind. So let's go with some other like neck and rib cage stretches, because our friend Robert Howell from Wheelie One Locks, he likes those rib exercises. Okay, so this is about the ribs and the upper back, shoulder, chest, neck. Okay, so we're going to do this. Everybody take the left hand and we're going to put it behind the head. Okay, now automatically this might be difficult for some, right? So you might want to take the hand to the shoulder, right? So we're going to take a deep breath in lift the chest. Now it's going to be a twist. On the exhale, move the left elbow toward the right hand, round the back, drop the chin toward the chest. And then inhale again, lift up, press the head back so you're opening up the chest. And exhale, round. So Helen and Arturo are watching. Which Arturo is it? Mosquera or Zamora? Cowboy. Exhale, round the back. Keep on going. Inhale. Cowboy is with us. Nice. And exhale. So keep on doing that. And of course, if you want to go slower or you want to go, differently, you do that. But what we're doing is we're combining some moves that we've already done together today. We're arching and we're rounding the spine. We're lifting and we're lowering the head. We're also adding a little bit of that twist. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, press the head back, arching. Exhale, round the back, chin toward the chest, twisting. Inhale. And exhale. Let's just do 1 more. Inhale. And then we're going to stay here on the exhale. So round the back and stay like that. Try to really direct the stretch into the upper left section of your back. Feel the shoulder blade kind of pulling away from the spine. And by the way, you can always take your left hand and hold it onto another surface, even if you're holding onto your right hand or the right side of your chair, even if you're reaching out with your left hand and holding to something else. So you're directing the stretch where you want it to go. Let's take 3 more breaths. 3, 2, and then let's come all the way up, all the way into neutral. Okay, pause in neutral. And of course we're going to balance that out with the other side. However, first we pause because there's no rush. And that's one of the reports that we're hearing from everybody in dealing with this pandemic. So we've got a new sense of timing. This is going to lead to greater patience and tolerance. Let's do the same things to the other side. Let's take the right hand. Okay, options include hand behind the head, hand to the shoulder, whatever you got. Let's go with the breath. So take a deep breath, press your head into the hand, open up the chest, move that elbow back, and then exhale, round the back. Your elbow is coming toward the left hand. Okay, keep on going. Inhale, press the head back, open up the right side of the chest, and exhale, round the back. And keep on going. Inhale, and exhale. So there's lots of things to think about. Let's focus on the breath itself. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. One day we'll be able to gather together again. We'll be able to get some of you out onto this boat, onto the Impossible Dream, and you'll be able to not only focus on the breath, but also the therapeutic effects of the water itself, the sound of it, the waves, the view. Now the next time we round the back, we're going to stay there and work on stretching open the back of the right side, the back of the rib cage, your shoulder blade. And that might mean making tiny little moves, stretching your arm out, changing something. But really take some deep breaths and notice what happens with every round of breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's do 2 more breaths like that. Exhale completely. And then we come all the way back up into a seated position. Sit up nice and tall. Take a few deep breaths like that in stillness. So we've done a little bit of twisting. We've done some oppositional movement with the arms, and some of you are using the legs. We've done some arching and rounding of the spine. We've incorporated that into a twist. We've done some articulations of the wrists, elbows, shoulders, and we incorporated that into our arching and rounding of the spine. So let's do a little bit more of a side stretch, right? So we did this letting the head go from side to side earlier in class, but let's do this now. So we're going to have the arms out to the sides, and let's just do a little study, having the arms relaxed at the sides, not engaging them much. And notice how different it feels when you really engage the arms. Like imagine you're trying to make them longer, reaching out through the fingers. And just notice energetically how different it feels when you have the arms relaxed and when you have the arms engaged. Doesn't mean they have to necessarily get all the way straight. It means you're tightening all the muscles, like you're squeezing them from the surface of your skin, squeezing them in toward the bones, toward the center of the limbs, right? So that's the action that I'm going to suggest that you use for this next move. And remember, the lower body is going to stay rooted and strong. So get that image again, like you've got your feet plugged into a friendly source of energy, right? So take a nice deep breath in. Let's go to the right. Exhale, head to the right, but lean over, reach out with that right arm. And then inhale back to the center. Arms are engaged. Exhale the other way. Okay, so sometimes we get more of a stretch in the rib cage if we let the elbow lift. So go back and forth. And you move at your own pace. And you can even add a little bit of the rotation if you like, the rotations that we did with the shoulders, with the arms. So you do it in your own way. Think about really stretching open the rib cage. So that might be nice to let the shoulder lift. Do a few more like that. And then let's slowly come back to center. Back into neutral. We'll let the hands relax. And just find some stillness. With every breath in, scan your body for tension. And with every breath out, let the tension escape. This is another good technique to use when you're trying to relax. It's also helpful at night when you're trying to fall asleep. Breathe in through the nose, scan your body for tension. Breathe out through the mouth audibly. Visualize that tension leaving. Sounds simple enough, but if you try it, you'll notice the main obstacle is the wandering mind. And incidentally, there are many ways to define yoga. One of them is the idea that yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. The control of what's going on in our own mind. So that's interesting. It's kind of what we're leading to. So we're working on our powers of concentration. And this has wide-ranging effects as far as mood control, as far as acceptance, tolerance, patience. And that brings us to our next exercise. Keep doing that, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Keep doing that, scanning the body for tension with every inhale and visualizing the tension leaving with every exhale. But take your hands to the heart as you do that. And now I'm going to ask you to direct your mind to those things that the heart represents. Those virtues that never go out of style: patience, tolerance, compassion, affection, love, valor, courage. And we are preparing for our final exercise together. And this is what we always end the class with, an exercise of gratitude. So it's quite fitting that we put the hands on the heart, on the symbolic heart center, where we can draw that metaphor that all of those virtues associated with the heart are found there. And take a moment to acknowledge someone or something you're grateful for. Visualize that person or that thing or that place. We're going to add some movement to it. So on the inhale, let your arms reach up, out, whatever. And as you exhale, bring your hands to the heart. Okay, do that several times more. Inhale, reach out, reach up, gather the gratitude. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Do that a few times more. Visualize the person or the thing you're grateful for. Visualize in great detail. And the next time your hands come to the heart, keep them there. And here's how we seal the class. Where you have an opportunity, if you like, to say out loud what you're grateful for or who you're grateful for. And this is the best part of class. This is the most beautiful, heartwarming part of class. One day we'll be together again and we'll be able to say out loud what we're grateful for. But this time you have just me to listen to and yourselves. And I'll say out loud, I'm really grateful that you all came to class today. Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for tuning in. We love doing these classes. So my name is Natalie. I'm from Dharma Yoga Studio here in Coconut Grove. We have been working closely with the Woody Foundation for years. They sponsored this chair yoga class. Thank you to the Woody Foundation. Thank you, Woody. Thank you, everybody and your family. And we love being able to do these classes on this boat, The Impossible Dream. So we have a really big, heartfelt thank you to the Impossible Dream Foundation that makes it possible to have people experience firsthand the therapeutic benefits of being out on the water. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. Namaste.
Thanks for coming, everybody. I unmuted you, so if you want to say anything, feel free.
Thank you.
Thank you.
From New York.
Nice. Aw, great. Oh, from Canada. Awesome. Oh, there's Sabrina.
You see
That's who you were talking to. Hey, Sabrina. I didn't know if you saw her on here. You were just.
No, I did. I saw Sabrina.
Yeah, we can. How are you doing?
How are you guys?
Good. It's beautiful
Wish
out
you
here
were
on the
here.
water.
Camera, I can't see you, but I hear you.
Oh, that's Paulina. I know it's really dark.